We're invading.
Hello.
Ah! Ah!
Why?
I was about to sneeze. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
All right. Just give me a sec here.
Kitty, wherever you are, yeah, you get a special platform right here that you can just stand on right next to the camera.
You need to start this off like a boxing announcer.
In the left corner, coming from Brooklyn, New York.
And then there's that phrase that we can.
Oh yeah, wait. We need the microphone hanging down.
In the left corner, coming from Vancouver, Canada, it's Frumple.
Da, 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 da.
Insert applause here.
Also, when I upload this, that's going to go on the upload. So.
Right.
Alfie, why did you do that? Wait, okay.
All right.
It looks like we've got a concession stand in the back if anyone needs something to drink.
Okay, I'm gonna get this started. Welcome to the public portion of the November general staff meeting on the MBT server. Have some announcements to make. Let's go. Okay, here we go.
Kitty, you're surrounded in barrier blocks, just so you know.
I'm gonna build another layer of barriers.
Sorry, guys.
Okay, hush.
Okay. First off, I'm going to announce that I did previously announce this. There will be a new Dyn map render, a full Dyn map render. That's going to be starting on Monday. Yeah, Monday at 5 a.m. UTC. That's pretty much going to be the server restart time. So right after the server restart, we're going to start the render. It should take about probably more likely 3 days at most. During this time, there will be no world edits allowed because, again, it is a very CPU intensive operation. But yeah, it should take about 2 to 3 days. And that's that. Regarding, so going on to the actual topics of this GSM, the first topic I'd like to talk about is a pretty serious one. Over the past couple weeks, I've noticed two different incidents where some of the members on the server, I'm not going to mention names, but some members have been making rather sexist and disrespectful remarks towards women, and the fact that this happened, the fact that it happened so quickly in these like two different incidents in 2 weeks, and the fact that it hasn't really happened before on the server is why I would like to just discuss this right now. So basically, these sort of comments are not going to be allowed on the server. They are disrespectful, and if you had any notion that these kinds of comments were okay, then you are mistaken. Mistaken. So we're not going to tolerate these sort of comments. Yeah. So before you make these sort of things or open your mouth essentially or type something in, please think about whether you might be offending someone. Before in the past, when it comes to these sort of comments against certain races or certain groups like LGBT, we've been pretty good as a community in stomping that out. But I think because that we don't usually have that many women on the server, it's mostly, men. I think it's for some people it might take a bit of getting used to make sure that we also don't make these sort of sexist comments as well. So yeah, so if you do see these sort of comments, please do call it out to the person, and if the person does not apologize or change their behavior, please let a staff member know, and we will deal with it accordingly. I'd also like to remind you, separate from this, or in a way separate from this, I know that there are a lot of people here on the server who are on the autistic spectrum, and while I'm going to reiterate this, our position when dealing with people on the spectrum, if we try to understand that people are on the spectrum and they do have, in a way, a bit of inability to perhaps recognize social cues. but autism itself is not an excuse for this sort of behavior. And when it comes to the rules and comes to respect, we treat everyone as equal as possible. So please don't try to use autism or anything like that as an excuse for this sort of behavior. It's not going to fly amongst myself or the staff. So it is up to you to make to be respectful to others on here. So I hope I've made that very clear, and I hope we don't have to deal with these sort of things in the near future. But yeah, just something that I noticed in the last couple of weeks. Moving on to the next topic. From the ASM, the admins have, and along with Chief, we're starting to look at the rules and maybe do a little bit of a rewrite again on the rules. Specifically, Chief is writing up a document. That document is not publicly available yet, but soon, maybe in the next few weeks or a month or so, it will be.
It is available for viewing, not commenting.
Oh, I see. Okay, so it is available for viewing, not commenting, but we will be open for comment probably later. And it's still being discussed amongst the staff. Yeah, so feel free to take a look at it. It's basically the biggest changes on our rules page. I've tried to make things as simple as possible, but we recognize that there are some gaps, especially when it comes to specific details or that sort of thing. And we're going to rewrite the page such that there will still be the main rule especially under the general rules, but there'll probably be some sort of drop down or some way you can click to another page, for example, to get more detailed rules. And this page of detailed rules will contain we're trying to collect all of the judgments and decisions we've made at previous GSM, so it's all recorded, and so people don't have to actually read the previous GSM results and try to hunt it down. So that is, in addition to the rewrite, we're probably going to adjust some rules here and there. I know airports and airfields are being clarified a bit. I don't know if there are any other sections. Staff, Chief, or any other staff, were there any other sections that were of particular note that we are looking at?
Yes,
major changes?
Airports were one of the main things that we were discussing. We will make a couple announcements of things that we are going to take into effect immediately. So one of those is, if you are a governor rank city and you have a airfield that you built at the senator rank when you rank up, the 7,500 blocks that are used by that airfield count as being used in your airport allocation. So what that means is that if you have a 100,000 block governor ranked city, and you have a 7,500 block airfield, your airport maximum size is 42,500, not 50,000, because your airfield already counts as using that space. Most cities are not affected by this. There are only a couple cities that are. If you currently have multiple air facilities, you are grandfathered in, and you don't need to make any adjustments to your air facilities. But just know that we will be considering the size and presence of airfields when we evaluate an airport proposal from a governor city.
I'd just like to clarify, Chief, just for people that didn't know, the previous rule said that when you built an airfield, you could build when you eventually get to governor, your governor airport would be an addition to the airfield, basically your block allocation. But to make things, the reason we're making this change is to make things a bit simpler with regards to when we just count all of the, since we're also allowing airport, you can split your airport block allocation between different air facilities, like a heliport or an airport or a spaceport, or perhaps even multiple airports. This change is just to make things simpler. for us to for the staff to count and make sure that people aren't going over the 50%. So, but as Chief said, if you already if you're already over that limit because you were building your airports based on the old rules, you are grandfathered in, so you have nothing to worry about. This just applies to any new airports that are getting proposed. I hope that makes it clear. It's a bit convoluted, but if you need more clarification, you can read the rules document as it is. So, yeah. So there's several other sections in the rules document. There's like one about economy, specifically about all of the rulings about banning loan companies and gambling companies. But yeah, the plan is that Chief will continue working on this document. We'll definitely discuss this again at the December GSM. There's no guarantee that we will ratify this document or put it in place at the December one. It might be we might leave it till next year depending on how far we're at. But yeah, that is the plan. If you have any further specific questions about these rules at this time, feel free to let us know at the Q&A later on in this GSM and try to address it. Okay, moving on. 1C. Yeah, so we did rediscuss the building rules with the old world, and we are going to just reiterate this now. The old world rules are not going to be changing. Basically, changes on the old world will only be allowed if you own the actual property. That's one condition. And the second condition is you can only make minor changes. No major renovations, no revamps or replacements, that sort of thing. And the definition of a minor renovation will be up to staff. So if you have questions of whether or not your change is considered minor, please ask staff. But basically, if it's in most cases, it's going to be some sort of airport change or something like that. So changing planes would be considered minor. Changing destinations, changing signs, that would definitely be considered minor. When it comes to major changes, that would probably be a renovation or redoing of an interior or adding a whole new building, for example. So I just want to reiterate this, and specifically, I'll announce this as well. A court's proposal to replace the airport based on these rules, we're going to have to reject that proposal and disallow him from completely replacing it. I'm sorry, court, but these rules are in place because if we did allow people to make replacements, it would be certainly hard to enforce, but also just, yeah, we don't want to be changing things. Okay, moving on to 1D, we have a suggestion proposed from Kev, aka the Great. This suggestion basically calls for a more fair process, fair, I'm going to say fair in quotations, for distributing gates from existing airports. From Kev's perspective, and we do understand his perspective, because he has a small airline, he feels that he doesn't have really much of a chance to gain a gate because it's already been reserved for larger, more established airlines. The problem with this proposal is, for one thing, it would be considered it really depends on your definition of fair. But if we did this, then we've always allowed the airporters to have the ultimate choice of what gates and airlines they would like to add, and this would make it. This would put restrictions on them, arguably make it unfair for them as well. And in addition to this, it would also require staff to monitor and, basically police this sort of thing, like having these sort of regulations there. And at the moment, staff do not have the time nor motivation to do that at this time. So Yeah, we understand that where Kev is coming from, but ultimately, probably the best way for him to gain a gate and make his airline to establish his airline is to basically get to senator and governor rank himself and build his own airfield and airports. So.
Also, just based on responses in chat, please don't be mean to people. I know that this was like, well, okay, like, yeah, this was originally supposed to be anonymous, but like, it sounds like there was a witch hunt going on before that. That's not cool. Don't do that. Be nice to people. Thank you.
Oh, sorry. I maybe I shouldn't have mentioned that name, but I'm just reading off the minutes, so my apologies for that. But yeah, no witch hunts, please.
No witch hunts. That is punishable by warning.
Spooky
again, I encourage.
is over, there are no witches about.
I strongly encourage people to try to understand other people's point of view, and as staff, we totally get what Kev was proposing here, but whether or not it was a realistic proposal and whether it's actually fair for others, that's the part that we couldn't go forward with. So, all right. So moving on to 1E. I'm not sure if I can explain this too much. We had an incident where somebody was basically building a sort of a smaller district within a larger town, and then trying to get it promoted, claiming it was a separate town. This sort of falls with the enclave exclave rules, but we decided that as long as the players in question or the towns in question make it very clear where the border is between their towns, then we have no problem with this. But the important thing is the borders need to be defined. And in this situation, the borders were not clearly defined. Neither of the players actually made it very clear. So just as a general reminder to everyone, when you are asking for promotion, and if your town is very close or right next to another town, please make it very clear where those borders are and communicate that to the staff member, because they're not going to be able to know exactly where the border is, even though it might be a really distinct wall or of some kind. And this applies to any kind of promotion. So city rank promotions, senator, governor, usually we do definitely ask people for borders, but this also applies to things like councilor and mayors. So please try to keep that in mind. Please define your borders, and all will be well. Last few topics on section 1, holiday ranks. Apparently people like sock rank. I don't know. Well, admin, if you have ideas, send ideas to the admins or Yoshi or whoever. We're gonna try to get these set up. We're gonna try, unlike last year where we kind of got the ranks set up pretty late. We're gonna set them up around. We'll try to set them up around the beginning of December. So maybe like December 1st. So yeah, and we'll try to also decide on one that is as religiously agnostic as possible, because we know that people have different faiths on this server. So please don't email Yoshi with the word suck. I think he's gonna appreciate that. Okay. The last topic in section 1 is I've been playing with some Discord bots recently, or at least one, and I am considering adding it to our Discord. I actually have stuff already set up on a separate Discord right now. The biggest feature of this bot, it has several features like searching for images and some custom commands and that stuff. But the biggest feature is the bot can play music, or specifically videos from YouTube and from SoundCloud. And some bots have differing features. And I'm considering adding it to our voice chat channels. The problem is, one concern I do have is I remember a lot of the newer members won't remember this, but in the early days of the MRT, we had a similar service. It was kind of a separate site. It was called plug.dj. And while it was good for people to enjoy music together, In some cases, it didn't work out too well because people would skip other people's music in a rather disrespectful way. And it caused a lot of issues on the server. So we're going to try to, we'll definitely put in some song links on this bot. So maybe like 5-10 minutes so that you're not hogging all the time on the bot. And one suggestion that we might try out is maybe setting up two of the same bot, so that if you decide, if a lot of people are in one channel listening to one bot, but you don't like the music there, you could always go to the other channel and listen there. So we'll start with one bot. I'll set it up within the next couple weeks or so, and we'll see how that goes. But yeah. What is wrong with chat? You do realize this is all getting recorded onto YouTube, so everything you say here
can be used against you.
Will be.
This isn't the Thomas for thin, though.
Okay. Anyway.
Okay, but
still,
will be
recorded. Chat is currently debating of whether we want to do sock or country roads.
I think
Country socks taking me home.
I want socks.
Oh my god.
Country socks.
Country socks taking me home.
Country socks.
Anyway, roads.
Okay. Moving on to the roads section. We've got several roads to look at. The first road is the second part of A54, proposed by Skyjumper Talon. That goes from Merville up to, what was that town again? I think it was called Cactus River. That has been approved. So yeah, A54 approved there. The second proposal is, I don't know what the number of this one is, but it's from Lithium.
It's an extension of the A51.
A51 from what's AP's? Oh, damn, I forgot. What is AP?
Whiteley, Shillerton, Zerez, through whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So what Chief said. This proposal is going to be denied because specifically for Lithium, because it's assumed that Lithium would, because he proposed he would be the one building it, because in February or the last February GSM, he proposed a road from Jianghua to Copino City, and that was approved, but he never finished it. So because of that, and because we still have doubts about his building ability for this road, we're going to deny the proposal. However, this is a call out for everyone else. If you have a proposal, if you'd like to make a separate proposal for such a road that goes from Whiteley, by Shillerton and Zerez down into that southern Arctic area, please do send us that for the next GSM, and we will consider it. We are basically looking for a more reliable builder for this road. So yeah. And I will also mention, in case Lithium does ask questions about this, you may not understand this I don't know if he actually watches the GSM results at all. But I will be personally sending him some PMs directly so to make sure that he understands why we declined his proposal, because there seems to be some confusion around. Moving on, the third road is from Merville to Sunshine Coast. It's a B road proposed by Grand Cacto. This road has been approved, but Grand Cacto, we have to talk to you about some things about this road afterward, but I won't be mentioning it here. So yes, we'll talk to you about that after. Moving on to section 3, projects and funding proposals. The MGA tournaments that have been proposed by Skyjumper Talon have been approved. The underground rail tunnel from F16 to F20 proposed by Mike24 Dude has been approved. The bridge from Aquamarine Bay to Moton, proposed by Autobus. This has been approved with one condition. We just want to make sure, Otto, and I'm not sure you may have already decided on this. We just make sure that the bridge is high enough for any boats that may possibly go into that bay. And so that's been condition approved. 3D is Blue Rail, an underground rail tunnel XW21 that has been approved, proposed by HVT. And finally, a Survivor game show proposed by A Line that has been approved. Funding for that has been approved there. Section 4 is property auctions. A couple here. One is from we call out for a general auction of S0. It's the Southern Line, currently the Western Southern Line terminus. S0 will also be the Zephyr Line Southern as well. We only had one person ask for S0, and that is Conric 005. That has been approved, so S0, Conric now owns that. And the other auction we got was for Genesis, a small town southwest of Zaquar, requested from Airplane 320. The email we got from Airplane did not mention, because it's so close to Zaquar, we did not mention whether he got permission from Kitty regarding this. And from what I understand, Kitty doesn't really want anything else near there, so we've denied this proposal, ending on. Nicholas says, Pamela says, Frumple, you should bang a gavel every time you say approved. I don't.
Can we just yell the word bang?
Bang!
Or just, ow. That's a concrete block. That doesn't help.
Okay. Just looking, I don't know if the other things. Oh, there's a couple of other things. So that's basically the end of the whatever is written on the agenda. But there are a couple other things that staff brought up. One thing I will mention is
dinner time.
We will add some commands like /wiki/status, basically commands on in-game that will provide links to other services. I think /mumble is definitely one of those, and /events. So that'll be added by an admin at some point. And I think that's about it. Okay.
Yep, that's all. Questions?
Okay. It is time for the open floor and Q&A. So for these questions, I'm going to do something a little differently. Well, slightly differently. Please, if you'd like to ask any question, comment, or concern regarding these sort of things, please post either PM me in-game or post in the voice channel on Discord, the voice channel, text channel. I will not be accepting any requests through the Twitch chat because due to some abuse on that end. So please don't post anything in the Twitch chat. This will be just for MRT members only.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And also, please don't post the whole question. Just say that you want your turn to speak, because I'm not going to remember your whole question. So...
Court, what the hell?
Have you seen my sock?
That's great.
And once again, please make sure that you want to ask serious questions first, and then when later on we will allow non-serious questions. But my tolerance for those is waning, so please try to make them actually somewhat...
Actually silly, okay.
Actually entertaining.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I will pay $200 to someone who starts a town on an MRT station named Sock.
Me.
Old Ranster, that's a silly question. Don't ask that.
Time to rename Rank Result.
If I change Cactus River to Sock, do I still get the money?
It's first person to claim a station and tell me that they did it.
I don't know if you should be encouraging this.
I'm not sure if we should be encouraging that, but...
Okay.
I'm just encouraging one town or whatever.
Okay, let's go.
It's going to be like 5.
2 questions.
Okay, 2 questions and stuff. Otto, you're first.
For that bridge, instead of making it high, would a full drawing platform similar to my bridge near Pillman also be acceptable. That's
You're
a
doing it,
bridge where the
that
platform
chief.
in the middle fully draws up.
You're doing it as a drop.
Under if it's open.
It's a
As a
raising
drawbridge?
bridge.
Yes.
That would be fine too.
Okay then. Thank you.
Okay. Fisheye, can you repost your question in game, because I cannot remember here. SC11 A54 goes through my town. What do you mean by that? Lighting, please stop PMing me unless you have a proper question. Red Ray, I've got you on there. I'll call on you later. Fisheye, what exactly is your question? Now called suck. Okay. Fisheye is asking, MRT station Southeast 11 goes A54.
It's on the other side too, Chief.
Hang on, SE11. Okay.
C11. I'm just gonna look at Dynmap quickly. Yeah, I believe it does. Yeah, because Cactus, whatever it is further west from that.
Count it as an expansion of Merville.
Oh my god.
Oh
Who
boy.
is playing? What is going on here? Okay.
God.
Quite
Okay.
possibly
It's fine.
HVT
It's perfectly
system.
fine. It is.
Okay. So the thing is, this proposed Fisheye, did you just start this town? Because it sounds like you might have done that. This proposal was submitted quite a while ago. Or a week, yes. Okay. This is interesting because it's a case where someone's started a town, but there was an existing proposal, but I'm not sure if it's reasonable to think that they're going. I guess, Fisheye, do you want the road through your town? That's a better question. Because it's better, you probably need to talk with you need to talk with whoever proposed that. I guess it'd be Cortesi and so Visha, I'm going to say that you need to go talk to the proposers of that town. That would be Talon and Cortesi, probably. Skyjumper Talon. And basically negotiate where that town's going. We have approved it officially. But if you want the road diverted, I'm sure that they can make some arrangements to do so.
Just to clarify, Court is not involved in the second part.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I got involved enough in the first part.
Okay. The Green Kangaroo, just going to answer this. Right now, we are not accepting any plugin suggestions because we are waiting to update to 1.13. And this is not just to make things simpler, we're not accepting any new plugins. Why is everyone saying wow?
I am as
Chief
lost
is
as you are.
riding the MRT.
Okay, guys, stop spamming, please. Like, seriously, this is
Why do we like this?
not the server that I want to be running. Okay, I should have made this server 18 plus.
Yes.
Whitelist or something.
I doubt that
started
would
it.
solve this, but
I don't think that would solve this.
Oh,
We need the Infinity Gauntlet.
or at least whitelist. Oh, yeah, should have been one. Anyway, okay. So hopefully, Fisheye, that answered your question. If you have any further comments, please let me know. Ugly Name, you're up next. What is your question? He might be watching the stream. So you'll have to pee. No, the delay is like 5 seconds. It's still in the same settings as there it is. Ugly Name, were there any updates on the reflection letter? No. That was decided the ASM. We are not going to make any changes to that. I think most of the confusion was mainly from some staff not basically I had to show some actual valid reflection letters from people we accepted before, and that pretty much cleared up the confusion. So the reflection letter policy will still be in place. So if you have a double warning and have not been re-promoted, you still need to send in a letter.
And in case you're wondering on what do I put in it, there's actually a pretty comprehensive set of things that we're looking for on the website in the warning and ban policy.
Yeah. So just read the part in the rules section, the rules page specifically.
Yeah. So give that a look.
Were there any other public announcements from the ASM, or was that it?
It was that and like a couple other random little things that we had to talk about. The reflection letters was the big one. So.
Yeah. The last week's ASM was really just it was very much a maintenance ASM. It was nothing very major.
It needed to happen, but there's nothing newsworthy that came out of it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Talon, I'll just mention quickly, your MGA funding was approved for all your events that you proposed, and the A54 Part 2 has been approved. However, Fisheye has mentioned that he's started a town in that area, so you may want to talk with him about how the road's going to go around it. So please go talk with him about it. Okay, so that's that. Next up is Conric. I'm not sure, are you in Discord? I don't see him. Conric, it's your turn. My message was in you have to PM it again, Conric, because I'm not scroll back.
What? What just blew up?
Okay. Conric's question is, I have a question. The nearby town is owned by Narnia data. Should I work this out with Narnia, or is it too old to still exist? This is S0, by the way. We determined that Narnia's town is at least 500 blocks away from S0. If you want to go talk to him and just make sure that you guys aren't going to step on each other's toes, feel free to do so. Actually, we kind of encourage it. But from what I understand, Narnia doesn't have any intention of expanding in your direction, so I think you should be okay for the most part. So. Okay, looks like Conrad got that answered. Next up is Red Ray. It's your turn. Oh, you sent it in local. Red Ray is asking from, will the Discord server be down when you are installing this? No. In fact, there's no way for me to shut down I can't shut it down temporarily. It's either up or down. So
it either exists or it doesn't.
With certain bots, you can lock all the channels. So
yeah,
we shouldn't need to do that.
We can write a script that bans half the server if that's what you want.
Oh, God.
Yay!
But let's not do that. I know, we're not going to do that. So
this whole Infinity Gauntlet thing is getting more especially what I'm seeing in chat.
Slash snap card.
The problem is it's a 50% chance it might not get everybody. So
slash snap.
No,
it bans exactly 50%.
Yeah, but I'm saying that it's not going to get the right 50%.
Yeah, what if it bans
That's
like
the whole
all?
point. It's dispassionate, fair, and
What if,
random.
no. What if it just bans all the inactive members?
Anyway, okay, I'm at the end of my list. Last call for any further serious questions or comments. Please PM me in game or on Discord here. Anybody? Apparently everyone's talking about socks. So apparently that's more interesting than GSM here.
Oh, how I wish I was online.
Socks.
Okay.
What have I started? What did I do?
What have you done?
This is one of the few instances where you can in fact blame Chief for this.
Yay! Blame Chief for socks.
Please continue to blame him.
Chief, you can say it sucks to sock. No.
Okay, so silly
Oh my
question.
god.
Sorry, sorry, Nita, and I missed you there. Yeah, please go ask your question now. I totally missed you in the Discord there. We'll go to Nita and serious question, and then after that, yes, silly questions will be allowed.
Okay, so it mainly involves the area around my city, Colorado City, because it's a very swampy area, and like I don't know. As far as I know, the current rules say that if you want to build something, it has to be within a reasonable distance of your town. But can you dig waterways to access the ocean?
Yes, we in previous GSMs we've got people who proposed said waterways at the GSM. If you, depending on how large that waterway, if it's very long or significantly far from your town, or very long distance, then you may want to propose as GSM. If it's something relatively minor, like maybe within 300 or 500 blocks of your town, maybe you can just ask a staff member. It's up to their discretion to allow. So those are pretty much your options there.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. All right. Conric, I'm not answering that question. Basically, if it's anything to do with memes or socks, I'm not going to bother.
But socks is fresh meme.
Where's my underwear then?
Yes, Yoshi?
Has the server been what's it called? Paid for 2019?
Not yet. I tend to, but yeah, I'll probably do it sometime in maybe later this month or December. And if people continue being little shits right now, maybe I might change my mind.
We'll end up with a sock.
Behave well.
Otto, you got a serious question? Go for it.
Yeah. What were the numbers of the roads you just approved today?
Let me read them. Well, one of them is kind of weird because Lithium proposed 3 different numbers. But yeah, Talon's Road is from Merville to Cactus something, whatever it is. A54.
Okay,
the one that Grand Cacto proposed. The one that Grand Cacto proposed does not have a number, but it needs one.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, Grand Cacto, you need to find a number for that one.
So who proposed the A54?
A54 was Talon.
Okay, we'll talk to Talon about something then. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? Comments? Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
No Conric? Nope. Kitty asks, how often do you feel patriotic? Not really nowadays. Considering how this country is going. So anyway. Red Ray asks, that is related to socks. I'm not answering that.
You already bought the weed from Pool?
I don't do it. So I don't care about it. Pine asks, are you aware that we care about you very... It doesn't seem like it. And I'm talking generally around of all the people on the server, so yeah.
Should we do a running of the bulls type event in here? You mind? Oh.
Okay, I think I pissed off Pine. I'm sorry. I was saying in general, not you specifically.
Poor Pine.
Pamela asks, are you sad you couldn't come to your super secret GSM stream?
What secret GSM stream?
I don't know what that is. Connor asks, no. Not answering that, Conrick. Yeah, I don't care about much anymore.
Yeah, Mega too.
Frumple, the thing that I posted in voice channel is not for you, it's for everyone else.
Sure.
Several people are typing.
Everybody's posting in Discord. No one's okay. I'll listen.
Does the thing work?
Does what work?
It says we all care about Frumple. I'm very sure he cares about us all on the server.
I don't think the vote
I don't
thing
know
works.
about that.
The sock doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Oh, they're the same thing. Whoops. Okay. Well,
Needn't ask, can an MRT line be renamed for Christmas? Probably not. That's too much work.
It's too much work.
Connor guys, what's the lowest temperature you've been through in Canada? -40.
Jesus Christ.
That's -40 Celsius.
I mean, -40 in Fahrenheit, you would have been dead, probably.
Yeah. Pamela asks, how many grits do you have right now? Many.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah, serious question from Paul.
Yes?
What about the MRT shop that you said?
What?
I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever get around to it, to be honest. It's like a lot of work to get it up and running. Grand Cacto asks, have you ever been to Portland, Oregon? No, unfortunately, the most south I've been to San Francisco and Las Vegas.
Yay!
But I've not been, and I've been to Seattle, but not Portland.
And thank God HVT wasn't there.
Red Ray asks, do you like Cairn Terriers? I like dogs. They're cool.
Woof.
Eden says, eat a stroopwafel at the next GSM. I don't know where to get one around here. No, Connor, we're not going to do that.
Will you ever change your skin?
No.
Hmm.
It's, I like my skin. Okay, is that all the...
Yeah. Start guessing.
Questions? Hold Ranster don't care about sports, so don't ask me sports questions.
Yes.
When was the last time you ate a taco? A couple weeks ago. Connor, guys, if you sent in a proposal for an MRT line called Taco Line, would the name be changed? The lines have been named after generally biomes and other things, so yeah. I'm gonna do that.
You missed my question, Frumple.
What was your question?
How many Spocks could you take in a fight?
It highly depends on whether you're talking about Abrams verse Spocks or original series Spocks, or maybe even TNG because Spock was too a couple episodes.
Okay, but
Yeah.
like thoughts?
I don't know. Just my thoughts to your thoughts.
I'm just trying to quantify
Your mind to
this here.
my mind.
Okay.
I'm trying to do a mind meld to you.
For some reason, when I try to move channels or leave, I remain connected to this help.
Do you need help? What are you trying to move
Yeah.
to?
Are you on your phone?
I'm just trying to disconnect.
One of us. One of us. One of us.
Okay, I think I'm gonna end the questions. All right. What are we playing?
Guess the
Funny
nothing behind
question.
you.
We're playing game.
Let's have 20 questions.
20 questions.
Go.
Okay. Is it a person?
No.
No.
Is it an object?
No.
Is it an event?
No.
No.
The fuck is it? Okay.
We got 3 questions in before the first swearings happened.
Is it is it an idea?
I will say theoretically it is an object, but not like an object you can hold.
Okay.
Like,
Is it,
what do you
so
mean by that?
my fourth question. My fourth question is. My fourth question. Hello. My fourth question is it an idea?
No.
No.
It is not an idea. It is a tangible
This would
thing.
be easy, but these questions are making me doubt.
You should be able to get this one.
It
This
does
is-
actually exist.
Despite contrary building.
I don't know. They're not that many. They had categories left.
Well, I will say it's a thing. It's a thing, but you can't like. It's not an object as in you can't hold it. Like for example, a building is an object, but you can't hold it. It is an object if that's.
It's just, yeah.
We'll say it's an object.
Is it?
We've established it's a thing. Good
Yeah.
going.
Is it something on the server?
No.
No.
No. Is it something that a lot of people want?
It
Yeah.
depends on how you define that.
Yeah. Yeah. The answer no. The answer is no.
I was gonna say, well, some Americans would say yes.
Yeah. Some Americans want.
I would say yes, and I'm not American.
Yeah.
I will say yes too.
Is this thing so is it physically too unwieldy to hold?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Very yes.
You would
Very
need
yes.
quite a lot of people to hold.
Anyway, next. Continue. No more.
Okay. Is it a place?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Interesting. Is it a planetary body of some sort?
No.
No, not that big.
I mean, Pluto is pretty small, but like,
But no.
no.
You
Is
can
it
hold it in the hand.
Is it a building of some sort?
No.
I don't know. What is it?
You should be able to get this one.
Hmm?
You can get this.
one.
It's not a building.
It's not a planetary body. It's bigger than something you can hold. It's a thing.
Got a
And
lot
it's
of
Everything's a thing.
Is it a vehicle?
No. you kind of veered off track.
I don't know. I just. You never. Yeah. I don't know. It could be a food truck for all I care. I don't know.
You just gave Yoshi an idea.
Does it have something to do with nature?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Okay. The answer is yes, but don't try to go on that.
So yes, but that's not the point.
Does it have something to do with water?
Yes,
Yes,
but
but
that's
But that's not the point.
That's not
That's
the
not
point.
the point.
I'm so confused now because my goodness, it's not. It says something to do with nature, but it's not the point. It has a lot of water, but
It exists, but that's not the point.
It's not defined by the water
Or the name.
or the nature.
Mostly the
But it contains. It's like involved.
Yeah. You can get. Come on. You
You
can.
can get this, bro. Hold on. Why HVT?
Is it a place that has a lot of people in
Yes.
Yeah.
it? Is it a town or city of some sort?
No.
No.
Is it prison?
It's not a building. It's not a town or city.
Ouch.
There's a lot of people. Okay. I don't know what it is.
You can get this. Still
Sure.
5 questions.
Yeah, you actually can't get this. You get the right.
This is one you
Yeah, I
should
think-
get it.
I think you're too optimistic.
Probably, but I'd be sad if you didn't get this.
Is it some sort of festival or something?
No.
You're getting a lot. You were closer earlier. You're getting closer.
Oh, you mean?
It's not a city. You're kind of close with that. You're getting closer with that.
Not a city, not a town.
And it is a place.
Yeah.
Place.
In the time.
Yes, something to do with nature, something to do with water, but a lot of people.
I don't think that helps them both.
HVT, can you stop with the flute?
I thought I heard you say that or my brain interpreted that as can you stop with the dudes? I'm like, oh jeez. I thought we were done with that name.
I can't do anything.
Is what? I seriously. Is it something that happens in North America? I don't know.
Yes.
Is it in North America? Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
How many questions left? It's something in North America. Something in North America.
It's not a festival.
Does it? What?
3 more to go.
Is it something that happens in the United States?
No.
No.
And it's not a thing that happens.
Definitely. By definition, no.
It's not something that happens.
It's not something that happens. No.
Nor does it happen. Nor is it in the United States.
Nor is it in the United States.
Does it happen in Canada?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It does happen in Canada.
Oh.
I was like, wait, oh.
Doesn't make it, how is that? Is it the legalization of marijuana?
No. Go back. Again,
I really thought he had it this time.
It's a place.
I don't know.
It's a place. It's a place. You have one guess
It
left.
might be a bunch of people just lining up at the
No.
getting.
Okay, hold on. Okay, it's a place. It's a place, not an event. It's a place, and it's not the U.S.
People.
There are a lot of people.
A lot of vegetation.
It's in North America.
It's in North America.
I mean, you pinned it
Yeah.
on Canada.
Uh-huh.
It's really simple. Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Your final guess, Rumble?
I don't.
It's literally as simple as you think
North
it.
America with lots of people that isn't in the United States.
I don't know what can.
God damn it.
You can guess. Come on, you can guess this.
A lot of people want to go there.
No.
Yeah.
It includes a
I give up.
What? No.
Oh,
It's in North America. A lot of people want to go there.
Purple, at some point during this 20 questions, you have stated the words that make up the answer.
Oh, it's just
Canada.
It's just Canada.
That should have been enough. I said Canada. That's it.
You said it doesn't happen in Canada.
That is in Canada by definition is in Canada. Like
No, the bit that made like my heart drop was when you were like,
Oh, it's like the legalization is
like,
not
when you said, "Oh, we all thought you had it," and then you ruined it.
You know what? You know what? I think we're
sorry
not close
for
enough. We'll give it to him. That was close.
bullshit. Oh, I don't know. This game
It's
is
rigged, like the lottery.
But turn around.
Okay.
There's a nice little indicator over here.
I'm.
I mean, it should be more sensual.
No, this is where
I think in the next
Vancouver's over here.
GSM we need a teleprompter.
Is it over there? Is it that far away?
Yes, Vancouver is over here, Cardesi.
I thought it was more like here.
No, that's like no.
Okay.
Pin the frumple on the Vancouver.
Okay.
So this is Calgary.
Okay.
I think that's a bit far.
Anyway.
I am going to stop the stream. Thanks for everyone for coming. GSM.
Line screwers. I don't need this.
Okay. Goodbye, for God's sake.